Hi, this is Fatih, and today I'm going to talk about Rakkas, a full-stack React framework powered by Vite. It's similar in scope to Next.js and Remix, but it was built from the ground up with the latest React features in mind, such as the concurrent mode, streaming SSR, and suspense for data fetching. Aside from all the goodies that you'd expect from a Vite-based framework, like the lightning-fast dev server, hot module reloading, and out-of-the-box support for CSS, TypeScript, etc., Rakkas also has many common and not so common features like nested layouts, route guards, and the ability to deploy to serverless and worker environments. I'm going to talk about them in my post-conference talk. This short talk is going to focus on data fetching, and in particular data fetching without an API layer. Rakkas' data fetching system is heavily inspired by the excellent React query library, now called 10-stack query. Rakkas provides a suspense-only subset of the useQuery API to fetch from your REST, GraphQL, RPC, whatever APIs. But for most applications, there's something simpler. Next.js has get server-side props and Remix has loader functions, and they allow you to create apps without an explicit API layer. You just talk to your database in get server-side props, and your page component magically gets those props. Behind the scenes, both Next and Remix removes those functions from the client bundle, so they only exist on the server side. And Rakkas is something similar, but I think much more flexible and easier to use. Enter use server-side query. Use server-side query is a data fetching hook, similar to useQuery, but its data fetching function always runs on the server. It's like get server-side props or loader, but on steroids. Because it's not tied to pages, so you can use it in any component. It even provides type inference, so you can write your app as if almost the client-server boundary didn't exist. You may have noticed that TRPC has been getting a lot of attention lately, and I think it's well-deserved. It offers end-to-end type safety with very little boilerplate. Well, use server-side query offers the same with no boilerplate, but it also offers excellent collocation. Collocations mean you can find everything related to your component in one place. You can have smart components that not only fetch their own data from the backend, but actually contain their own backend, right in the same source file. Also, one of my pet peeves with standard data fetching systems is having to deal with dates and sets and maps and all those types that don't serialize well into JSON, but which are really useful, so you do want to use them. For those things, Rakkas uses Rich Harris's dvalue and Ron Brillo's JSON serializer, and it can handle all of those types and provides very great end-to-end type safety. For data mutations, Rakkas offers use mutation, again copied from the great 10-stack query API. But there is also use server-side mutation for completely doing away with the API layer. There is even now a use form mutation so that it works even without JavaScript because it uses the HTML forms. I kept talking about doing away with the API layer, but why do people have APIs and when is it necessary? In my opinion, it becomes a necessity when you have many clients connected to the same backend. But even then, use server-side query and friends can provide a lot of value because generic backends that cater to many clients have to compromise. So clients end up having to use endpoints that are not tailor-made to their needs. So they either end up fetching too much data that they don't need or too little data and have to make more API calls to get all the data they need to render the view they're rendering. To counter this, there's a growing pattern that is called BFF, or backend for frontend. In this pattern, each client has its own mini backend on the server, and that mini backend talks to the real backend. This way you can pluck out unwanted properties from the API response and send only whatever the specific client needs. Use server-side query and use server-side mutation offer a very convenient way to implement this pattern too. I hope this little presentation tickled your curiosity a little. Rakkas has many more interesting and uncommon features, so check my post-conference talk to learn more if you're interested. Thank you.